What happens when money, politics, and cutting-edge technology collide in a shadowy cyber war that stretches across continents? Welcome to the front lines of the 21st century, where code is as powerful as missiles and a single keystroke can send shockwaves through global economies. This week, the world was rocked by one of the most audacious cyber attacks in recent memory. Hackers, widely believed to be connected to Israel, pulled off a digital heist that drained more than 90 million United States dollars from Iran's largest and most influential cryptocurrency exchange, Nobitex. But this was no ordinary robbery. The loot was not simply pocketed. Instead, it was set ablaze in the open, the digital equivalent of burning millions in cash on live television, sending a message so loud it echoed from Tehran to Tel Aviv and beyond. How did a single cyber attack become a flashpoint in the escalating conflict between Iran and Israel? And what does it reveal about the perilous future of global finance and warfare? Today, we're diving deep into the tangled web of geopolitics, technology, and financial power to uncover the true significance of the Nobitex hack and what it means for every one of us living in the digital age. To understand the full impact, let's first map the battlefield and meet the key players. Over the past decade, the rivalry between Iran and Israel has quietly expanded from the dusty deserts and backroom intelligence operations of the Middle East into the boundless and invisible realm of cyberspace. What began as a contest of spies and soldiers has evolved into a high-stakes digital arms race. Both nations have invested vast resources in developing sophisticated cyber capabilities, targeting not just each other's military and nuclear infrastructure, but also critical civilian systems, water supplies, energy grids, transportation networks, and increasingly, the financial arteries that keep modern societies running. Consider some recent examples. The infamous Stuxnet worm, widely attributed to Israeli and United States cooperation, sabotaged Iran's nuclear centrifuges more than a decade ago, setting back the country's nuclear ambitions. In retaliation, Iranian hackers have repeatedly targeted Israeli water systems, government ministries, and even private sector companies. Each attack becomes more advanced, more destructive, and more brazen. The recent hack of Nobitex marks a dramatic escalation in this ongoing cyber tug-of-war. As veteran cybersecurity analyst John Smith bluntly states, the Nobitex hack demonstrates the growing sophistication of cyber attacks and the urgent need for organizations to invest in robust security measures. Now let's focus on Nobitex itself. While it may not be a household name in global finance, within Iran, Nobitex is nothing short of a financial titan. Founded in the late 2010s, Nobitex quickly became the go-to platform for Iranians seeking access to the world of digital assets. As Western sanctions squeezed Iran's traditional banking sector, cryptocurrency offered an alternative, a way for individuals and even the government to move funds across borders, bypassing restrictions and connecting with global markets. At its peak, Nobitex reportedly handled the majority of Iran's digital currency transactions, making it both a symbol of innovation and a lightning rod for controversy. For years, there have been persistent rumors, sometimes whispered in crypto forums, sometimes shouted by political adversaries, that Nobitex played a crucial role in helping the Iranian government and its allies, including groups like the Houthis in Yemen and Hamas in Gaza, evade Western sanctions. Blockchain analytics firms have traced suspicious transactions and linked wallets associated with sanctioned entities to Nobitex's infrastructure. This made the exchange a prime target for adversaries looking to strike at the heart of Iran's shadow financial networks. Last week, a hacking group calling itself Predatory Sparrow, known in Farsi as Gonjeshka Darande, claimed responsibility for the attack. This group has a history of high-profile operations, including a notorious hack in the year 2021 that crippled Iran's network of gas stations, and a 2022 attack that set a steel mill ablaze. Their methods are surgical, their messaging overtly political, and their digital fingerprints widely believed to bear the hallmarks of Israeli intelligence. Yet, as with so much in the world of cyber warfare, official connections remain shrouded in plausible deniability. This latest strike came at a moment of extraordinary tension. Just days earlier, Israeli forces had reportedly struck Iranian nuclear sites, and Tehran had responded with a volley of missiles aimed at Israeli territory. Amid this backdrop of escalating military confrontation, cyberspace became the next theater of war. Within hours of the hack, Nobitex's website and mobile app went offline as the company scrambled to assess the damage and contain the breach. International cybersecurity firms rushed to assist, while Iranian authorities imposed emergency measures, ramping up surveillance of every domestic cryptocurrency transaction and pushing for new draconian laws in parliament. But what made this attack so unusual and so chilling was not just the scale of the theft. The hackers didn't simply make off with the funds. Instead, they transferred the stolen assets, including major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, into so-called burn addresses from which the funds could never be recovered. It was a public execution of digital wealth, performed for maximum psychological effect. The hackers accompanied the act with a message aimed directly at Iran's Revolutionary Guard, accusing Nobitex of facilitating sanctions evasion and funding militant groups. As the group announced on their Telegram channel, assets left in Nobitex are now entirely out in the open. This was not a crime for profit. It was a statement of power. It was a warning shot not just to Iran, but to every nation, every exchange, and every investor who believed that digital assets were somehow immune to the world's oldest struggles: power, politics, and conflict. Economist Jane Doe puts it precisely. While the hack may have a limited direct economic impact, it could seriously damage investor confidence in Iran's cryptocurrency market. Indeed, the real casualty here may not be financial loss, but trust itself. If exchanges can be compromised and funds vaporized in an instant, what does that mean for the future of digital money, not just in Iran, but across the globe? Geopolitical strategist David Lee adds another layer. The attack is a clear sign that the cyber domain is now a key battleground in the Israel-Iran conflict. This is not an isolated incident, but part of a larger pattern in which state and non-state actors weaponize digital technologies to pursue their geopolitical agendas. The lines between war and peace, crime and protest, are becoming increasingly blurred. Yet beneath the headlines, a deeper crisis is unfolding. The Nobitex hack has ignited a fierce debate within the crypto community and beyond. Should digital assets be used as tools of political warfare? Can exchanges maintain trust and foster innovation when they become pawns in international disputes? Iranian lawmakers are now considering a sweeping crackdown on cryptocurrency activities, with proposals ranging from tighter licensing and reporting requirements to outright bans on certain types of transactions. Some experts believe this could accelerate Iran's efforts to launch a central bank digital currency, a so-called digital rial, that would be tightly controlled, monitored, and, critics warn, stripped of all meaningful privacy. Meanwhile, the reverberations are being felt far beyond Iran's borders. The United States Treasury Department has expanded its sanctions list, targeting not just Iranian entities but also any individuals or companies that help sanctioned regimes move funds through crypto. In Europe, lawmakers in the European Union are engaged in heated debates over new rules to clamp down on unregulated exchanges and close loopholes that have allowed cryptocurrencies to slip past sanctions and other financial controls. There is talk of stricter know-your-customer and anti-money laundering standards, as well as technological solutions to track and trace crypto transactions in real time. For ordinary Iranians, the government's response has been swift and severe. Every digital transaction is now subject to heightened scrutiny. Parliamentarians are actively discussing measures that could restrict or even outright ban certain types of crypto activity. This could force innovation underground, potentially making the market more unpredictable and riskier for everyday users. On the other hand, some analysts speculate that the government's ultimate goal is to push citizens toward a state-run digital currency, a digital rial that would give authorities unprecedented control over every financial move. Imagine a future where decentralized cryptocurrencies are systematically squeezed out, replaced by state-issued digital coins that offer little in the way of privacy or autonomy. Such a shift would mark a dramatic reversal of the founding ideals of the crypto movement, which promised freedom from centralized control and censorship. Meanwhile, the cyber arms race between Israel and Iran is only intensifying. Both countries are likely to double down on offensive and defensive cyber capabilities. As David Lee notes, this is a clear signal that the battleground has shifted. States will no longer limit their fights to military fronts. Digital finance is now fair game. If these tit-for-tat attacks continue, we could see entire financial systems, including those in Europe, Asia, or even the Americas, caught in the crossfire. The global economy, already fragile from pandemic shocks, inflation, and supply chain disruptions, could be rocked by a new wave of cyber uncertainty. What does this mean for you, the viewer? It's time to get serious about security. If you use crypto exchanges, now is the moment to double-check their safety protocols. Look for platforms that are transparent about their compliance with global standards, such as Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering procedures. Stay informed about which exchanges are currently under scrutiny or facing legal challenges. Only keep essential funds online and consider using hardware wallets for significant assets. Always enable multi-factor authentication and be alert to phishing scams or suspicious activity. On a broader level, this episode underscores why coherent global regulation is essential. Without clear, enforceable rules, crypto will remain a playground for both innovation and exploitation. As Sarah Johnson, a researcher in cryptocurrency policy, observes, the Nobitex hack is forcing everyone, from regulators to everyday users, to confront the reality that digital currencies are not immune to the world's oldest problems: power, politics, and conflict. Let's take a step back and consider the historical context. Throughout history, financial innovation has often attracted both legitimate entrepreneurs and those seeking to exploit the system. In the 19th century, the introduction of the telegraph and transatlantic cables revolutionized banking, but also enabled new forms of fraud and cross-border crime. In the 20th century, the rise of offshore banking and shell companies offered new tools for both tax planning and money laundering. Today, cryptocurrency is merely the latest chapter in this ongoing story, a technology that promises freedom and efficiency, but also introduces new vulnerabilities. The Nobitex hack is a stark reminder that no system, however innovative, is immune to the forces of geopolitics. In the Cold War, nations competed for dominance in space and nuclear technology. In the 21st century, the battleground has shifted to cyberspace and digital finance. But what about the global implications? Could this single hack trigger a cascade of regulatory crackdowns, technological innovation, or even further escalation between major powers? Experts are divided. Some warn that we are entering an era of cyber proxy wars, where states increasingly use hackers and digital mercenaries to wage battles by other means. The risk is that these conflicts could spill over, destabilizing not just targeted countries but the wider global economy. Others see a silver lining. The Nobitex incident, they argue, could spur much-needed reforms. Already, international cooperation is on the rise. Cybersecurity agencies in Israel and the United States are sharing intelligence and developing new strategies to defend against Iranian cyber threats. The European Union is moving closer to harmonizing crypto regulations, while industry leaders are investing in next-generation security technologies, such as artificial intelligence-driven threat detection and decentralized identity verification. A recent study by a leading cybersecurity think tank found that Iranian government-backed hackers have been stepping up their attacks on cryptocurrency exchanges in other countries, not just Israel. This highlights the growing vulnerability of the entire crypto ecosystem and the urgent need for cross-border solutions. For example, exchanges in Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe have reported a surge in attempted breaches, prompting some governments to establish new national cybersecurity task forces and mandate insurance coverage for digital assets. Let's not forget the human element. For millions of people in countries like Iran, where inflation is rampant and access to global markets is restricted, cryptocurrency has offered a lifeline, a way to preserve savings, send remittances, and participate in the wider economy. The Nobitex hack threatens to undermine this fragile sense of agency. Ordinary users, many of whom are not political actors, now face greater uncertainty and risk. The hack has also triggered a lively debate within the global crypto community about the ethics of cyber warfare. Should political actors be able to destroy private wealth to make a point? Is it ever justifiable to target civilian infrastructure in pursuit of geopolitical goals? Some argue that such attacks represent a new form of collective punishment, blurring the line between combatants and non-combatants. Others insist that cryptocurrency, by its very nature, is a neutral tool, one that can be used for good or ill, depending on the intentions of its users. Looking ahead, several future scenarios are possible. One is that Iran's government doubles down on regulation, imposing strict controls or even banning certain types of crypto transactions. This could drive activity underground, making enforcement harder and increasing the risks for ordinary users. Another scenario is that Iran accelerates its development of a central bank digital currency, hoping to regain control over a rapidly evolving financial landscape. Alternatively, the cyber conflict could intensify, with both Israel and Iran launching ever more sophisticated attacks, not just against each other, but against third-party exchanges and financial institutions worldwide. In the best-case scenario, the crisis serves as a catalyst for reform. Governments, industry leaders, and civil society organizations could come together to establish stronger frameworks for cybersecurity, transparency, and consumer protection. Already, some exchanges are voluntarily publishing security audits and working with international regulators to improve standards. Educational campaigns are helping users understand the basics of digital safety, from recognizing phishing attempts to using secure wallets. But the road ahead is uncertain. The very features that make cryptocurrency attractive, its openness, decentralization, and resistance to censorship, also make it difficult to police. As more governments seek to assert control, the risk is that innovation could be stifled, or that the technology simply migrates to new, less regulated jurisdictions. Here's a secret fact that few are discussing. While the world's attention has been focused on the missing money, some experts now believe that Predatory Sparrow's true objective was never the funds themselves. The real goal may have been to expose just how deeply cryptocurrency is woven into the machinery of state power, sanctions evasion, and covert operations. By burning the assets in such a public way, the hackers sought to demonstrate that no financial network is truly beyond the reach of determined adversaries. In the words of one analyst, it's not just about hacking wallets, it's about hacking influence, rewriting the rules of engagement in an interconnected world. So, will this hack change the world? The answer is yes, but perhaps not in the way most people expect. We are not witnessing the end of cryptocurrency, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, one defined by stricter regulation, smarter security practices, and ever more complex geopolitical maneuvering. The cyber war between Iran and Israel has exposed both the vulnerabilities and the latent power of our digital financial systems. The stakes could not be higher. For you, the viewer, the lesson is clear. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and engage in the conversation. The future of digital currency and cyber conflict is being shaped right now, in real time, by the choices of individuals, companies, and governments around the world. If you want to stay ahead of the next big shockwave in crypto and global finance, hit that subscribe button and join the conversation in the comments below. Where do you see the future of digital currency and cyber conflict heading? Do you believe regulation will make crypto safer, or will it drive innovation into the shadows? Let us know your thoughts.